congrats on the movie. I've seen it twice now, and each time I've seen it, I've found more things about it that are very intriguing. I'm going to start with you, Tom. Your character is someone who is so in love with Hedda that he refuses to see what everyone else around him sees. Talk us through to sort of finding a voice for that character.
It's so interesting that you see it in that way because he is very in love with her. I feel like George is in love with the idea of what Hedda is, and his idea of what Hedda is so not true. So it's really, I found it fascinating playing this man who is trying to control and mold the world into the way that he believes it should be, and that he has a right for it to be. Even in human beings, he's trying to sort of, I literally say to Nina's character, Eileen, how do you control a woman like this? To want to control the person you love is totally oxymoronic. It's the opposite of what you should be doing. So it was a fascinating, almost trying to, when playing the scenes, almost trying to look at Hedda in the same way that I looked at the house. It's my property that I can do with what I like, and it must, I wish for it to be this way, and it must be. And what's fascinating about this is she's such an amazing character that she's never going to be controlled. However, what's so interesting is when she chooses to allow herself, when she stoops to conquer, she allows herself to be the wife that he believes she should be and that he wants her to be. But she does it in order to manipulate George. So she gives him what he wants just so that she can move him around her chessboard.
I think your character is pretty much thinks he knows her more than George does. And in the end finds himself in the same position as everyone else. He's been played more or less. Talk us through your character. I think I was looking up the character description in the Ibsen play, and it says he's a lascivious character, which I found quite interesting. Talk me through that character.
Well, I believe he does know Hedda more than George does. They're from a very similar background. They've had to go through very similar things on their way up in society, and they have a love for chaos, a love for creating a bit of, tension in a room where they can, say something to one and it trickle down to the other, and that then has a knock-on effect, and they can just sit there and, see all of this stuff going on, and then just it's amusement for them. And he gets close to overpowering Hedda and having her do what he wants her to do, but at every single turn, she manages to slip out of his grasp to a point where he gets so frustrated that he doesn't know how to maneuver that aspect of her. So he gets close, but then just as he's about to, she slips out of his hands, and he can't do what he needs to do with her. And he gets very frustrated with that. He can't find that. And I think there's a certain amount of him fighting himself when he's going against Hedda, because he sees very similar things in her that he battles with himself. And so I think there's a really, really great world of tension between the two of them that just, I think even after the movie, it just keeps going on and on and on, and that's their relationship forever.
I was at the screening at the LFF just a couple of days ago, where you all spoke about the team, the cast, as being almost like a troupe, and that everyone stayed there whilst you were filming, even when they were not involved in the scene they were filming. How does that work when you have a group of people working on a film who get so attached to each other's characters? Talk me through that.
It's honestly what you want for every job. It really is. And we were just talking earlier today about the fact that we got 2.5 weeks rehearsal before we even had a crew. This was just the DP and Near, and the first, it was very, very small. We could just rehearse and become a troupe, and we sat around, we shared lunches together, and it really did feel like, we've said, like a theatre troupe, because also the location and the base were far enough away, and it was night shoots, and it was raining, and it was cold. None of us really went back to our trailers, which is very unique. Usually you come in, you do your thing, you go back. We all sort of sat and ate together, and that kind of just made this camaraderie. And also, it really is a story. It takes place over the course of a day and a night, and then the morning of another day. there is that energy of all these people. It all just happens. It's so intense and thick. It just fed it all the time, and even to the point that the background artists who fill that party scene. Do you remember there's this part in the movie where the wheels start to come off the bus and everyone starts to get a bit crazy? Do you remember? I remember we weren't even in the scenes. All of the principal characters were outside with the chandelier, and we would just watch these people. We were only on camera, and we're just watching these background artists who were part of the team. They'd been in every day, just like us, all day, every day with us. And when Nia was giving them direction of going nuts, they felt so part of this story that they really went. They went with it, and we were just watching this amazing scene play out.
And they were all fantastic.
Yeah, and you wouldn't really be able to get that from background artists, to get that freedom and that commitment from them. But because they really felt like a team all throughout, we were all with each other, interacting, improvising. It really did just feel like a huge group of people telling this one story.
And it really did feel like that in the movie. One last question would be, if you weren't playing the judge and if you weren't playing each other's characters, which other character would you have loved to
Hedda.
play? Hedda. There's something in there.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'd love to see your Hedda.
I would love to see my Hedda.
Yeah, I mean, they're all amazing. I'd love to have a little go at Hedda. I love Borges as a character. I played sort of at drama school, and then we toured this thing around, and I loved it. It's such an amazing character. However, having watched Nina Hostel, I think, I would just be so intimidated.
She is fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Again, congratulations. I absolutely love the movie.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!